Previously on Bad Movie Beatdown, yeah?
I'm sorry, was that meant to be a joke? Here's all the effort I had to put in to understand that gag.
Matthew! Or DVD continue. Equilibrium. See you later.
Und now the stunning conclusion. Ha 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 ha.
Hello and welcome to Bad Movie Beatdown! Sorry about that. That brings us nicely to today's movie, Equilibrium. This is the film that finally provides us with the answer to the question, what was Christian Bale doing between American Psycho and Batman Begins? In this case, a dumbass action movie with delusions of a meaningful simile on the essence of man. The film was directed by writer-director Kurt Rimmer, who went on to make the high-quality Ultraviolet. Now, I am aware this film has a fairly large cult following. In fact, when I googled the words Equilibrium fan site, I found this site, imaginatively titled Equilibrium fan site. Now I do have to admit, I'm now slightly terrified after finding probably one of the best fan sites I have ever seen in my life. Ever. But enough about the fanboys. What do I think? Well, it's on a show called Bad Movie Beatdown. What do you think?
In the first years of the 21st century.
The movie starts out like almost every action movie in the future, with a prologue. And it looks like they're having a say at the stock footage factory today. This is narrated by someone who we later discover is father, the head of the evil dictatorship.
A third world war broke out.
How original. He also has dramatic pauses like bottomless pits.
Mankind could never survive. A fourth, that our own volatile natures.
Stalin? In the 21st century? That is awesome! Zombie Stalin is going to kill us all! Anyway, the powers that be have decided that the reason for all these wars are not born out of petty, insignificant things like oil, money or religion, but out of human emotion itself. Yes, human emotion. Feel free to think that one over in your heads a sec. I'll wait. To this end, they have created a bunch of badasses known as the Grammaton Cleric, apparently named because it sounds cool and has religious overtones, who eradicate those who feel emotion, called sense offenders.
Police!
We first catch a glimpse of the clerics, who in no way dress like Neo from The Matrix, at work, taking down some offenders led by Lincoln Burrows from Prison Break. The biggest badass of this bunch is Preston, who proves his worth by taking a room full of people armed with machine guns, single-handedly, in the dark. Okay, I'm not entirely sure how standing bolt upright in a doorway while you're surrounded by machine gun fire enables you to survive, but hey, I'm not a cleric. Also, what sort of tactic is that from the rebels? Okay, we're going to form a perimeter around the door, okay, and we're going to shoot at each other where we have equal chance of hitting ourselves as we do the target. That is great strategy. Where is he? Shut up. I'm sorry, did he just make a swoosh noise? See, that's a little known thing about clerics. They are so well trained in the deadly arts that their arms make swoosh noises when they move. Sublime. Afterwards, Preston sets about to destroying all the stuff that the rebels have hoarded, including priceless artworks.
Burn it.
Men with flamethrowers are destroying the Mona Lisa! It's not like it's one of the most frustratingly obtuse and overanalyzed paintings in history! Preston then returns to the world of Libria, which is so ripping off Brave New World 1984 it hurts. I'm presuming Rimmer saw the film version of 1984, because I don't give him enough credit to read a book. Well, not unless it's one of those pop-up ones, of course. Man, this film is so busy with rip-offs and cliches that it would take me weeks to go through them all. Look, it's even got my favourite one, the Sean Bean death scene. Oh, right, I forgot to mention. Sean Bean plays Preston's partner, who came with him on the opening raid. We can quite clearly tell he's feeling emotion by the way the film cut to a lingering close-up as the Mona Lisa got burnt. What have we become?
They miss things sometimes. I've got to take it down myself.
Yes, because that's how policemen really do things. They take evidence from crime scenes. Preston soon realises his partner's duplicity and heads out into the Nethers to arrest Sean.
But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I've spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. I assume you dream, Preston.
After dwelling the cost of no war, Sean tries to shoot Preston even though Preston has a gun pointed at his face. Preston assassinates him through his favourite copy of Yeats. How subtly symbolic. Also notice the obvious stuntman filling in for Sean here. Afterwards, Preston gets assigned a new partner, Brant, played by Taye Diggs, who wants to be just like Preston. Preston goes back to his loving family, including his son. Jesus, it's the Antichrist! Quick, check his scout for any numbers! As for his wife, well, we discover in a flashback that she was a sex offender herself. Her sentence?
My spouse was arrested and incinerated for sex offense 4 years ago, sir.
Wow, is the state run by pyromaniacs? The following morning, Preston goes to take his interval, a dosage of the drug Prosium, which is required to be taken by the state several times a day. This plot point is not at all taken from THX 1138, a little film made by a filmmaker called, I don't know, George Lucas. He accidentally knocks it over, thanks to placing it bolt upright at the edge of his sink.
I said...
Preston goes to the Equilibrium Centre, but because the plot says so, it's closed. Brand picks Preston up and heads to arrest a suspect called Mary, played by Emily Watson. She has managed to pick up a number of illegal items, which she has somehow stashed away in a completely bricked up room in an obviously state-built apartment. Whoops, watch out for the plot holes. They decide to question Mary since there is apparently no way she could have gotten all these goodies herself. Here we get to listen to the script's wonderfully overcooked dialogue.
What's the point of your existence?
To feel. Because you've never done it, you can never know it. But it's as vital as breath. And without it, without love, without anger, without sorrow, breath is just a clock, ticking.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This is a society without love? Then how is Preston married? Is it state-sanctioned marriages like 1984? How does Preston have kids? I mean, they can't make love since, you know, that's a physical representation of an emotion and, watch out for those plot holes. This goes nowhere, so they have it arranged for her to be executed. Wow, they really are persuasive in Libya, aren't they? Now your mind must still be reading from what Preston did in the opening raid. Well, that's called gun Qatar, or as I like to call it, gun fu.
That the geometric distribution of antagonists in any gun battle is a statistically predictable element.
The movie tries to explain to us what this is all about, while at the same time trying to include the maximum number of times you can insert the word maximum into a sentence.
Each fluid position representing a maximum kill zone, inflicting maximum damage on the maximum number of opponents.
Damn it! I knew I should have paid more attention in maths class. I guess that is why I will never be able to move my arms so fast it produces a swoosh noise. Waking up from a nightmare for the very first time, Preston notices rain on the covered windows. He proceeds to rip off the covering and embrace the rainbow-covered city. Stunned by his new emotions, Preston rushes into his bathroom to take another dose of the interval, but he can't bring himself to do it. Yep, one day, and Preston has gone completely off his dose. This dictatorship is completely foolproof. Thus, Preston destroys his dose in a crowd of people as father proclaims the joys of Prosium.
For we embrace Prosium.
Symbolism! Preston joins in on yet another raid and takes off his gloves to feel the walls. Symbolism! Using his hands, Preston discovers another stash, but thankfully this time they include a door. sorry. Did we just swoop into his eye and add a gramophone? Look, movie, I get it. I really do. You do not have to force a symbolism down my throat every 30 seconds. Fuck's sake. Anyway, they burned the stash, but Brand notices something.
Zarek, why didn't you leave that for the evidentiary team to collect and log?
They miss things sometimes.
What is there to miss? The building is on fire! Also, it's nice to know that Preston is doing the exact same things his partner did before he got shot. Yeah, because that won't arouse any suspicion.
Sir!
But that's not the only thing that gets discovered.
These animals were defended by women and children.
Puppies! Puppies!
Puppy!
Puppy! Hello!
Hey!
They can kill as many men as they like. But women, children, and puppies? Those motherfuckers!
Sir, toss it back in. I'll finish it off.
Oh, look at the cute little puppy! Ready for its life! No, Preston, no! The cute puppy must live!
Wait! Seems to me that at least some of these animals ought to be tested for disease. There's an epidemic in the Nethers. It's the best we know about it.
Tested for disease? Is anyone buying that? Seriously? I mean, look at Preston. He looks like he's going to squirt water out of his eyes like water guns. I mean, they shot Sean Bean for less than this. That night, Preston tries to release the puppy, which he keeps in the boot of his car, into the wild. But because the plot says so, some state police show up, and Preston left his identification in the car. Oh no! Will they search the car with the puppy in it?
My name is John Preston. I'm the highest ranking cleric of the Tetragram.
Wait! Stand off! Sorry, I didn't recognize you, sir.
You didn't recognize him? You were standing right in front of him! You know, I think you need to get an eye test before you continue riding on that motorcycle. Just as they're about to leave, the puppy squeaks, alerting them to its presence. The men soon turn their guns on Preston. But don't forget, Preston is an uber badass. Wow, that was a surprisingly emotional response from an apparently emotionless society. Also, nice secure grip on those guns, guys.
What? Ah, shit! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him!
He has guns up his sleeves? That's some trick. Look at that! He's using his super mathematics skills again. It's so great that all these people got killed in the name of a puppy.
Always practicing, cleric.
Preston learns from Brand that Father is going to use the murders as an excuse to slaughter the remaining resistance. But he doesn't just learn this anyhow, he does horse fighting!
Why? Because now Father and the Council have decreed an acceleration in the crackdown on offenders. Whoever did it, all they accomplished was a quicker end to the resistance.
Oh, and don't they have CSI in the future? I mean, Preston used those guns without his gloves on, and he used the biker's guns, which he dropped at the scene, and, blood hole. Preston joins the millionth raid, and finds a group of offenders trying to escape.
That door behind you. Go, damn you!
But as he tries to lead them to escape, they encounter some more police. Oh, could this be the sign of more fighting? Little known fact about human anatomy, arms are actually made out of balsa wood.
Cleric, what's happening? We heard gunshots.
Go!
What are you doing? Cleric, they're resisting spiders. Cleric!
so awesome, it just has to be in slow-mo. These guys really suck at shots, don't they? They're firing and missing at a target directly in front of them. Who trained these people? Imperial stormtroopers? This plan backfires and Preston sends them right into a trap.
What are you doing?
Nicely done, Cleric.
Brandt is there and makes a point of trying to get Preston to execute the sense fenders himself. Preston protests because his weapon is too low.
If your weapon's low, please use mine.
Pay attention, 007. Brandt gives Preston his gun, which Preston takes with his right hand. After a few moments, Preston decides he can't do it, and supposedly gives back the gun in his left hand, his own gun, to Brandt. In short, they swap guns. I smell plot point.
Captain.
Yes, sir. Firing positions.
Anyway, the group of resistors get executed, making this bit almost entirely pointless. Almost. You'll see.
Fire!
Preston takes a visit to Sean Bean's corpse, where he looks among his items. There, he finds a picture of Sean and Mary, deeply in love. What a twist! Also on the back of the photograph is a word. Freedom. Preston tracks this to the Freedom Reading Room, where he throws the librarian through a false bookcase. Again, why isn't this a door instead of a completely sealed off wall? There he finds the home of the resistance, the underground, right underneath Libria. It is here that Preston meets resistance leader Jurgen, who apparently has been watching him for some time.
We've been watching you, Preston.
You're Jurgen.
We're feeling.
They strap Preston to a polygraph to be sure, where he discovers that he loves Mary too.
Mary.
Have we been watching the same Mary? The same antagonizing woman that has tried to kill Preston at least twice now? I guess he just has a thing for short-tempered, violent women. Jurgen requests that Preston uses his special status in Libria to take down Father. Preston reacts to this in the calmest fashion possible, running down the street in the opposite direction to the other people, visibly stressed and pushing people over. That won't attract any attention whatsoever. Sure enough, the police come and arrest Preston. How surprising.
Are you playing with me, Cleric?
Wow, a very emotional response from a very emotionless society again. Now, I'm starting to think there might be corruption in the ranks. Could it be? I mean, it's not like Brandt has been smirking the entire film. But it turns out it's a psych out, because DuPont actually wants him to double the efforts to find the real traitor. Oh, hilarious. How ironic. Oh, that was a complete waste of several minutes of my life. God, I hate this movie. One close call wasn't enough. He suddenly decides to make a rescue attempt for Mary. And once again, he inconspicuously runs through the paths of Libria, attracting onlookers' attention yet again. I'm sorry, but surely someone would have noticed this dude in black running around looking very emotional by now and reported it, right? Right? But as it turns out, Preston is too late, and personally gets to see Mary get roasted. How tragic. Still, we're eating tonight! Preston is overwhelmed by emotion, so much so that he cries on the steps outside the building in full view of the public. And guess who's right there? Brandt! That's who!
This man, this senior cleric, has ceased the dose. He is feeling. He is the worm that has been eating at the core of our great society. And I have brought him for your justice.
I have brought him for your justice. I am not completely overacting these lines. Christ almighty, he's screaming in a room full of people about a sex offender, no less. Christ almighty.
Vice Counsel.
Brandt then takes Preston to DuPont, who is certain that the gun used to kill the men in the Nethers will trace back to Preston. But Preston has a trick of his own.
The trace shows that it was your gun in the nether with the sweepers.
It's impossible.
Yep, that's right, remember? Brand switched guns with Preston. So in one false move, Preston cleared his own name and framed Brandt. Ingenious!
He is the one who's failing!
So you say.
This is a mistake!
I've been giving this some thought. Didn't Preston switch guns after he shot the people in the nethers? 20 minutes after, in fact? Or how about the fact that Preston uses 2 sidearms, not 1? Or what about the machine guns left at the scene? This isn't just a plot hole, it's a plot canyon! I mean, you could drive the Nostalgia Critic's Lord and Saviour through this. I mean, my God, how did no one notice this? How didn't anyone reading the script, editing the movie, how did Rimmer himself not notice this? It's just a... Yeah! Where the hell does this movie end, for Pete's sake? Fuck me! As a reward for finding the traitor, DuPont allows Preston to meet Father in person. However, he also informs Preston they'll be searching his home because of Brandt's complaint, just in case. So Preston has to rush back again, so he don't discover the proton he's been stashing behind the bathroom mirror. Why didn't he destroy it?
Looking for something? If I were you, I'd be more careful in the future.
How long?
Since Mom.
What a twist! His offspring are sex offenders themselves? Well done, you excellent cleric, for allowing this to go on for years without noticing. Don't ever smile again! Quick, fetch that Prosium! Seriously, are we supposed to believe that this kid was a sense offender for the entire film when he's been incredibly creepy and emotionless? Just... You know what? Let's move on. We'll get through this far quicker that way, okay? Far quicker. The underground members are arrested as part of Preston and Jurgen's plan to meet Father. But what's this? Preston is wearing a white suit now, not black? Could this be... No, it couldn't be. Symbolism! Preston undergoes a rigorous security check.
Larry, your weapon, please.
That's right, no metal detectors, no feeling for concealed weaponry, just...
Your weapon, please.
What would you say is the easiest way to get a weapon away from a Bremerton cleric?
You ask him for it.
Wow! What a twist! Brandt is not dead, and he's revealed himself to have friends in high places. Wow. Just mind-boggling. But wait, there's more. Wow! What a bullshit! I mean, the character was entirely pointless. Thanks, movie. Oh, and for those keeping score, that's four twists in 10 minutes. Even M. Night Shyamalan wouldn't drop this many twists at the ending. But Preston seems just as enraged at this turn of events as I am, because he draws guns from out of his arms and shoots the guards who do absolutely nothing to stop him. Bet you wish you checked him properly now, guys. Preston storms out of the room and makes his way towards DuPont. But there's a hallway full of guards. Luckily, Preston has the perfect thing to distract them. Ammo and half spheres. Wait, what? The guards then allow Preston to pose twice before coming at them 2 at a time, so he can quickly shoot them in rapid succession. Note also how no one actually picks up the ammo cartridges, so when Preston runs out of ammo, he rolls across the floor and puts them in his guns. Not only that, but more ammo cartridges come out of Preston's arm! What the hell? Jesus, Preston is clobbering this extended hallway with guards behind every pillar. This is what Steven Seagal sees in his wet dreams, right? Right. Preston, after managing to kill several dozen people in the process, gets to DuPont, with Brandt waiting alongside. Coast seems clear. Hooray! More meaningless violence and killing! predicted, Preston slaughters all of these men in about 30 seconds. This is like Half-Life on Buddha mode for Pete's sake. Up next is Brant, who seems to be the only other cleric in the movie besides Sean Bean. I thought there were loads of these guys who were supposedly matches for each other. Oh, never mind.
I plan to be wearing it for a long time.
Now, be warned. What follows is the ultimate example of badassery. It is both amazingly cool and hilarious. It got owned! That was an anticlimax. Well, it's mono-e-mono. Preston versus DuPont.
Be careful, Preston. You're treading on my dreams.
Wow! He reckons back to a scene he wasn't even in! Symbolic plot hole! Well, the pair go at it in the only fashion possible. Gun fu. Eventually, Preston disarms DuPont, but DuPont tries to reason with him.
I'm life. I live, I breathe, I feel.
Take that for killing Mary, you bastard! As Preston walks away, leaving Tay-Dig's poorly CGI'd face on the floor, victory has finally been won. Not for Preston, but for me, because I know this piece of shit is finally coming to an end. Preston goes to some sort of broadcasting room, and he touches a screen with Father on it with his blood-stained hand. Symbolism! He then proceeds to shoot out the screens in the room, which knocks out all the broadcasts of Father. Because it does. Preston then takes time out to see the Prosium factories explode, killing all the innocent workers inside. This alerts all the characters, including Jurgen, that the dictatorship has been overthrown. More freedom fighters take to the streets and shoot up more people working for the already deposed government, despite the fact that the Prosium supplies have been cut off and are now killing people for the sake of killing people. Hooray for freedom through violence! The morally justified violence. It's beautiful! But it's okay, because the puppy survived. Hooray for puppies! Hooray! Whilst ripping off the shot of the eye from Blade Runner, Preston gives us a final smirk before we cut to credits. Equilibrium, probably one of the stupidest films I have ever seen. So what IMDb rating does this film have? It's 3.2, 4.8, try 7.8. That's right, 7.8. Yes, this film that makes Commando look like the proud owner of a doctorate has a 7.8 rating on IMDb. I'm flabbergasted. I mean, just look at this list of films that it is apparently better than. Really? What sort of person would like this movie? So there's this guy called Preston, and he has no emotions. But what he does have is special mathematics skills, which he uses to help shoot the people that do. But then one day, he forgets to take his pills, which makes him really sad, because he's living in a dictatorship. Living in a dictatorship can do that to you. But then he gets a puppy! Hooray! He's like, I want to kill all the people that don't have emotions, because emotions are good. So he's all like, bang, 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 bang. Oh, it had to be done, I'm afraid. It had to be done. Well, that's all we have time for Bad Movie Beatdown. I'm Matthew Buck, beating down bad movies everywhere. And before we sign off, I have one bit of business I'd like to attend to.
Oh hi, it's Matthew, isn't it? I gave you Equilibrium last week. Did you enjoy it?